We've come to this beautiful place on the Isle of Skye in the northwest of Scotland for a holiday, and I've been inspired to try to make some of the beautiful patchwork fabric that you've seen at the beginning of the video. I wanted to try something a bit more original and wavy than just using rectangles of fabric. So in my next video, I'll be showing you in detail how to make this patchwork and then how to make it into a bag. But I just wanted to give you a taster of what it might look like. I started by sorting some scraps, and you can see I just used whatever I had. I started with a piece of lovely floral fabric that I like, and then I chose plainer fabrics that included colours that were in that fabric. I started by cutting them into an inch strip, and I found it easier to start this process with narrower strips. One of my inspirations was watching a lady called Jean Wells, and I'll link her video in the description. She makes her wavy patchwork by cutting the fabric first and then sewing it along the curve. I found it easier to actually not do that, and maybe I will develop that as I get better at this, but I found it much easier to put the curve in as I'm sewing. Once you've done one strip, then press trim off the excess fabric and then press it over, dampen the fabric and press it over. It's actually quite a time consuming process, but it's also very, very creative and therapeutic. So if you want to try this technique, start by getting a piece of packing fabric. It can be sheeting or any plain quilting fabric, and put your first strip right side up and sew down one side. As I said, it's easier if you're starting off trying this to use strips that are really no more than an inch, and you can just use scraps of fabric. It doesn't matter what length, because you can add to it as you go along. Once you've gone down one strip, if you say you were using a piece that was big enough to cover a bag, it, you can just sew down part way of one of the strips and then add the next strip in as I'm doing. Put it at a slight angle, and as you're sewing, move the top strip across to make a curve, and just do it free flow. Now, if you watch Jean Wells's video, she does this first. She puts the curve in first using a rotary cutter. But I did try that, and I found that quite difficult to do. So I'm just making my curve as I go along. Once you've sewn on the second strip, then press it over, cut off the excess fabric underneath and press over. It's recommended that you do wet the fabric with a spray bottle and then press it. Once you've done that, add in your next piece. Just select from your strips and just see which one will look nice. It doesn't matter if it's quite a small piece. You can go over the ends first. You can see what I'm doing there. I'm adding it just before the red piece ends, and then I'm sewing it. And then the only thing you need to watch for is where that junction is, where you've got the raw end. You need to make sure you go over it. But you can do that by moving the top piece sideways, and just always make sure that you're covering up your raw edges. The other thing that helps is if you put a very slight bit of tension on your top piece of fabric. As you can see, what I'm holding with my left hand, just a very slight bit of tension, and this helps to make the fabric curve slightly, so that when you fold it over and press it, you won't have any wrinkles in it. And because you're doing this, because you're putting a slight tension on the piece of work, when you get to the end of a row like I'm about to do now, it's a good idea to then turn the work around and work your way down the other side. Don't keep adding to that side of the fabric. Turn your whole work around and then start down the other side. And that way the tension will even out. So if you hope this gives you an idea, and you could practice if you have a practice go and use it in any of your projects. But once I return from holiday, I will be I've already filmed quite a lot of the detail of the technique before I left, so I will be putting that together in a video and showing you how to make the whole bag start to finish. I'm just using a simple shoulder bag pattern. You could actually apply it to any project you wanted, to be honest. You could use for a table runner or anything, but my project is going to be for a bag. So I hope you will have a go, and I'll see you in the next video.